My name's Chris Davis. My family split from the very beginning. My mother and father divorced when I was 2 months old. I would say I had a pretty normal childhood until I turned about 8. When I turned 8, my stepmother started to sexually abuse me. This went on for a year. When I finally had had enough and told my mother about it, in came the whirlwind of police officers and lawyers and judges, and it was a really confusing time. The thing that made it even worse was my father, who I looked up to pretty much more than anybody in the world, just disappeared. That, in that moment, changed everything in my life. I started to believe that if my dad didn't love me, then no one else would. It was kind of a gradual process here and there, but it kept going until the point when I was 16 years old. It was basically spinning out of control. I had such an anger inside of me because I knew that what I was doing wasn't right, and I knew that the person that I was portraying to everybody wasn't the person that I really wanted to be. It was a really, really confusing, really hard time because I didn't know what to do. I drank because I was upset, but I was upset because I drank. I thought that I had it all kind of figured out. And I thought that I knew what I wanted to do, and I thought that I knew what was going to happen. And I did really well for the first 2 months of school. I really wasn't on the campus more than 15, 20 minutes before I offered my first joint. I remember for probably a couple weeks straight, I would go to a party, or I would be at the house I was at and be using, and then when I was done, screaming at God and saying that if you love me, you won't let me keep going through this anymore. Because I knew that it wasn't what I wanted. I knew that God was real, and I knew that what I wanted to do with my life was to help other people, and I knew that by doing these things I was just killing myself. I ended up calling back out to Jubilee, and I said, I don't have anywhere to go. And you told me if I didn't have anywhere to go, to call you. That, I can literally say that that year, among everything else in my life, did the most to shape who I am and to save my life. I spent a year around people that just loved me, and all I did was work, love people, and hang out with God. I think the first thing that you have to do is make the solid choice to just give it away. Give it to God. Say, God, here this is. I don't want it. I'm not going to hold it inside of me. I know a lot of times when I wanted to do right, I would always hold a little bit back. And it was just give it all to God. Allow God to put even one person in your path that could sit there and just support you. There's always somebody around you that's going through the same kind of things, and God will put those people in our lives to help us and to keep us strong. And then it gets easier after one person. It's a little bit easier to talk to another person, to go to another person for help. And you build until you have this group around you that supports you and loves you no matter what. You know, it's not an easy task. We're not going to do it perfect from the beginning. We're going to have mistakes. But God puts the people around us that love us and will carry us even when there's times where we just, even when you want to give up. Even when you made a commitment to God, but it's too hard, and you're just saying, I don't want to do this anymore. Those are the people that you have to have around you that are going to remind you of your commitments. They're going to remind you of the hard times that you've been through to get to where you're at right now. And they're going to carry you through those things. But you have to have the group of people, and you have to have a total openness with God to say, God, I don't know how to do this anymore. And when you screw up, don't run away from God. Run to Him and say, God, I screwed up again. You already know that, and you already love me. We can't hide anything from God. I used to want to hide things from God. God knows everything. We can't hide anything for Him, so we might as well just go to Him with open arms and eyes wide open and say, God, here it is. It's before your feet. Please help me. And then just walk every day and don't get discouraged. Because Romans 8:18 says, "For I consider the present sufferings now nothing compared to the glory that will be revealed in Christ Jesus."